So after coaching over 100 people in a dropshipping field, I know exactly what people do wrong in the beginning and what they actually should do instead of doing those mistakes. So I really thought about which specific things I can give you in this video to really show you which things are needed to get started. And this is actually something you should watch before even starting dropshipping. So it's going to be very important to focus on all of those things, and please take notes, write everything down which I'm going to tell you, because this is going to be gold. So let's just jump into the very first thing. First of all, solve one problem at a time. All right. Every single time you have a problem, you actually have to first think, is this really your problem or not? Because, for example, if you're just starting out and you're thinking, all right, how should I actually work with my suppliers if I have no connections? That's not your problem. That's not your problem at all, because in the beginning you didn't even have your first sale, you know? So first focus on the very next step, which is gonna happen, and don't overthink everything. Don't try to make things too complex and think about how to scale products on Facebook before even having a proven concept of a product, which is like making at least some kind of profit. All right, so solve one problem at a time, and every time you think there's a problem, think twice and actually make sure that it is a real problem. Next thing is validate your products before you do anything. Don't buy stock, don't brand, don't do anything which takes a lot of time, all right? Obviously, I'm not saying just make everything shitty and do everything mediocre. No, I obviously mean that you should make good ads, select a good product, make a good store, and all of those things, obviously, they matter. However, don't go too crazy, and don't think that taking like 2 weeks for making a store, setting up the ads and doing everything is normal, all right? Normally, inside of a couple of days, you should be able to launch your first product after you have found it, okay? So validate your product first, and before you do any crazy actions like buying 10,000 pieces or buying 500 pieces or whatever, first validate it, all right? First make sure that it actually works for you, and after it does, great. And don't take other people's proven concept for yourself. Don't think to yourself, all right, I see this competitor scaling this particular product right now. It 100% works for him. I see it on the ad library. I see they get great engagement on their Facebook ads. And I did whatever to find out how many sales they have, all right? They for sure make good numbers right now. That's not a proven concept for you, that's a proven concept for them, and you are not allowed to borrow that proven concept from them to just justify to yourself buying in bulk or putting in like crazy amounts of hours into making a perfectly designed branded store, all right? Don't do all of this. Now, the next thing is never forget your margins, all right? If you see that your margins are just not gonna be there, don't even start selling this product. If you, for example, see that everybody in the market sells your product for $30 and the product actually costs $17, don't sell it, all right? Because clearly nobody could make it work with a product like with selling it for $40, so you're probably not gonna be the first one. And if you cannot get it for less than $17, there's no point in doing it, all right? And you shouldn't think about how they actually make it work and whatever. Either they actually might literally be scammers and not send out orders, so they don't have any product cost, which unfortunately happens, or basically they have like private agents which they worked with for a long time, which they trust, which trust them, and have like a really good discount or have like a bulk deal or whatever, but they get the product cheaper, okay? Or they have extremely good back-end marketing, and basically they have amazing upsells, and they know that the lifetime value of a customer is way higher than the initial first sale, okay? Again, so think about the margins, and don't think that if anybody made it work, you're also gonna be making it work. It's just not reality. Just for the beginning, focus on products which at least have like a 3x margin, that's it. Then the next thing is setting your priorities straight. And this is a big one, because in reality, every single thing you're gonna do needs to be tiered up in like a priority listing, all right? You have to have like A, B, C, and D priorities. So all the things you're doing need to be first done in the A priority. So for example, if you make a new logo, is that A, B, C, or D? If D is the lowest and A is the highest. Obviously, it's going to be something between like D and maybe a little bit of C, but probably D, all right? If you make an amazing ad, that's going to be A. Like making a good ad is going to be the highest priority. Finding a really good product, A priority, really important. If you have a Facebook block, then your A priority immediately is to get your Facebook unblocked or find another account or find a solution to your issue. But if you don't have a Facebook block, your priority is not going to be to Facebook, all right? Facebook ads or a Facebook block is just going to be so much lower on your priority list. Now, obviously, it's great to be prepared and have like backup accounts and be sure that your whole structure is working. but you don't have that problem yet. So don't focus on that. And that comes back to the first point I made. Just focus on a single problem at a time and only solve the problems which you actually have. And really think in priorities. Because honestly, I see it. Most people think of things which are completely irrelevant. If you're gonna start making like a beautiful description, sending out your product to tons of influencers to make the perfect like picture for your product page, and basically doing all those things which don't make any sense and won't make more money for you, are not in the highest priority. And this is the same for going to the gym. Like, is going to the gym an A-list priority? No. If you right now set yourself the priority of actually making a great business and making a living out of dropshipping, and if that actually is your main priority, obviously besides like health and family and all of those obvious things, if that is the priority, then you need to understand that going to the gym is not going to help you there. Now, obviously, is it going to make you more healthy? Yes. But will you have this direct impact on being healthy right now? No. So if you have this routine thing, which you should do in the background and is important, but it's not important right now, then don't do it unless you actually finished all the things which are A-list priority. Okay? And this is counterintuitive because most people will tell you, all right, go to the gym, eat clean, sleep well, rest, do all of this, all right? Do it, great, it's gonna help you a lot. However, it's not it's not the top priority. If you have a Facebook blog, going to the gym 10 times a day is not gonna help you, all right? And the same goes for if you don't have a winning product, which most people don't. So it doesn't matter what you do, focus on the more important things first and then do everything else. After you finished all the A priorities for the day, great, go for it, go for B. Gym could be B or C priority for sure, but don't set that as the priority and don't think I don't have time today because I need to go to the gym, all right? Because you do have time for A priorities. That's that. So next thing is don't get emotionally attached to your products. And that's a tricky one because I also see a lot of people who put in a lot of time and budget and money into their products, and they put in a lot of time into like making everything really nice. They pay influencers to make a great product page, or like to make great pictures and great videos. They pay a person to write, like a professional copywriter to write the description. They make everything perfect. And then it took a month, and then they start selling it on Facebook and nothing works. They don't get sales, nothing just pops off, all right? And then they're gonna spend more money on Facebook and more and more and more. And they're gonna try new angles. They're gonna pay even more money to make the store even better. They're gonna pay more influencers to make the ads better and do all these crazy things for a product which just doesn't work. It might be the product which is the issue. It might be something completely else we don't know in the beginning. Obviously, you're not going to know in the beginning because you didn't have the experience, and you need to have a person who's going to like look over it to actually understand where the problem is. A beginner or an intermediate guy normally has no idea where the problem actually in reality is. So what you need to do is move on. Instead of actually wasting your time and getting emotionally attached to this thing which just cannot work, don't. All right, don't. So just move on quick, don't get emotionally attached to anything. And even if you like a product because you love it, you would for sure buy this product by yourself. Nobody cares. Like nobody cares about how you feel about anything because the market is not going to respond to what you like. The market is going to respond what the market likes, all right? So it's very important to understand that and understand that your emotional attachment is not going to help. And if you, for example, drew a painting and you're super proud of it and you want to sell it, but it doesn't sell, all right, I get it. You've put in so much effort and now you want to get rid of it or whatever, you want to sell it and you want to get this appreciation for this piece of art you made. However, that's something else. That's not marketing and sales, all right? In marketing and sales, you shouldn't get emotionally attached to this thing, which you created and which you love, but is not making you money, all right? And that leads us to the money-making mindset. And that basically is the same thing with setting the priorities. You just need to think, which action which I can take right now is going to make me the most amount of money? If this is not it, stop doing it and don't waste your time. Don't get emotionally attached to anything. Just do the thing which actually makes me more money. And really think about every action you're doing, every single thing. If you're thinking of everything you're doing, is this going to be the game changer which is going to make you unprofitable or profitable? So, for example, if you have a product and you just don't have a proper checkout in place on the store, is that going to be the deal breaker for making you profitable or not? Yes, obviously. If people cannot check out, yes, that's going to be a game changer to actually make the checkout work. All right. So if you have an issue there, That's the most amount of, that's the thing which is going to make you the most amount of money. However, if you, for example, don't have any issues with the checkout, but you think I might improve the checkout by putting in this new button, by putting in the new thing, is that the priority? No, because that's not going to be the game changer. That's going to be a little tiny improvement if you do it right, and it might not even be that. However, it's not going to be the game changer. And don't focus on things which are not game changers. All right, that's the big lesson here. Next one is focus on one strategy at a time. And this is big because you need to focus on one strategy instead of mixing everything. Most people, including me in the beginning, are just looking at 10 different strategies on YouTube, buying a bunch of video courses and think, all right, I'm just gonna mix everything together and make my own great creation here, all right? In reality, you have no idea what you're doing, and you have also no idea what you're picking from what strategy. So you thinking that I'm gonna pick the best parts from everywhere and make my own, you're not picking the best parts, you're picking randomly. You don't know what's good and bad, all right? And the same thing was me literally in the beginning. When I started out, I didn't have a mentor, I was just completely lost. I bought a bunch of video courses, watched a lot of YouTube videos. I was mixing everything without really having a proper strategy. Then when I got a mentor, when I only focused on that one mentor, and I literally, the only reason why I actually focused on that one strategy was because I paid him money, which actually was more money than I paid for every video course I ever bought combined, you know? And on top of that, I had a person who held me like accountable in the beginning, which just was me on the right path, you know? Like I got the feedback of me doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and that was crucial. So when it happened, everything blew up. Like it literally took me 3 months. I became his best student, made like $70,000 in the third month. And I have another video talking about that where I actually show the results and the proof and all of that. This video is not about that, but the video is actually about focusing on one strategy at a time and not mixing things, all right? Because you're not gonna be able to make it better. The next thing is having a problem-solving mindset. You have to understand every single problem you're gonna face is not unique to you. There's a lot of people who already had your problem, solved it, made no big deal about it, and are still alive, are still breathing, are still doing everything great, are making money and whatever, you know? So your problem is not unsolvable like 99% of the time. However, you need to find a solution. And obviously there's two parts of solving a problem. The first one is finding the solution, understanding what the solution is, and number two is executing. The first part, for example, I can actually take away from you. For example, if we would have like a mentoring program and I tell you exactly what to do, I solve the problems for you. However, you need to actually execute and do the thing I'm gonna tell you, all right? Nobody's gonna take that away from you. And you're gonna need to have that. So if you're really, really good at problem solving, which almost nobody is, then you actually might have a chance of doing things by yourself. But even then, it's just gonna be having so many problems and going through so many hours more than if you would have had a person who just tells you what exactly to do, you know? However, I've seen the results from people who don't have a mentor and do things by themselves, and people who actually do have a mentor, including me, which like I'm open about it. I had a mentor in the beginning and I saw the game changers because it was just me not being able to solve problems which I was never capable of even solving because I never had them and I never knew what the right thing was to do. And I literally had to like do 10 things until I found a solution, and in the process of doing 10 different things, I lost a lot of money. And the last point I want to make here is know your numbers, and please make yourself this favor and actually execute this one thing. If you start making sales and you have no idea how many sales you're making, how much profit you're making, how much like ad spend you're having, how much product cost you're having, how many fees you're paying, how much VA costs you have, all of those numbers need to be calculated properly every single day. You need to understand how much money goes out of your bank account, how much comes in, when it comes in, and when it comes out, and also when it will be coming in or when it will be coming out. Because everything, like the whole ecosystem of dropshipping is like it has delays. If you get a sale now, you don't have that money instantly on your bank account. At first, it needs to go through a process of Stripe and then having like a payout after 3 days, after 7 days, or whatever. And it actually can be pretty confusing to calculate everything. But let me tell you one thing. Try your best to actually make a proper sheet and understand your numbers every single day. Every single day you need to know how much money you lost, how much money you made, all right? Obviously we provide that in the mentoring program. However, if you still do things by yourself, just make a proper sheet where you at least know the rough estimate of everything, including the fees, which most people forget, including the future refunds, which is a big one because right now you don't have any refunds. However, they're gonna come, and if you have like 1,000 sales, there's just no way you have 0 refunds. There's gonna be a couple, all all right? And you have to calculate into the loss before you even get them. So it basically has to be a percentage. All right, so I know all of this was a lot. However, please do yourself a favor and actually make notes on this. I know there's like a 90% chance that you actually didn't note down everything, even though I said that in the beginning, but you probably didn't because most people don't. So do yourself a favor, watch this video again, actually make notes and just have bullet points on every single point I made and try to follow them. That is really important. So if you don't do that, you just wasted your time, you wasted the value, and you're probably not going to execute anything I just said here, all right? So please take note, especially on this video and generally all my videos. You should just write down things when you see that golden nugget hitting you. Basically you should write it down. All right, so that's that. And also, if you want to join my mentoring program, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session. It's literally free. You're going to have a call with me personally. We're going to find out if you're a good fit, and if yes, we're going to start our mentoring program. It's like a one-on-one program. We're going to look over everything you do. I'll tell you exactly what you're doing wrong or right, which direction you need to go. I'm going to hold you accountable for all the actions you're having. And yeah, basically click the link below and see you there.